spanning the globe. Through the power of the World Wide Web. It's Stacey and Steve's Cringe Fest. And now, here are your hosts, Stacey and Steve.
Here we go again, Cringers. I'm Stacey.
And she's Stacey.
And that's Lily making a nest in the back.
Lily is, our audio engineer, Lily, has finally been bored to sleep. She's already
she's intently listening.
Yeah. She stripped the covers off my bed earlier today. And now she's got my comforter and she is making a nest in it. So Stacey can see. Did you notice she moved herself to the other side so you have a better view of her?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no ego there. No, Stacey.
Well, now she knows who I am, so she's like, "Oh, I can show her my rear end."
She knows who you are. She certainly likes you a lot, but
not
she
as much
loves your husband, Steve.
Yeah.
My God, that was so cute.
It's adorable. Sorry, just had to shut my door.
Now that you have doors, this is so great.
I didn't shut it all the way, but I shut it most of the way because I know you can't hear my mother-in-law, but I can hear my mother-in-law.
I want to hear if she's like, I don't know. She might have something interesting to say. I still think she needs to be a guest on the show.
There were a couple of times last night where she just was getting tea and stuff while we were watching the opera.
Oh, Jesus,
and I know, I'm so happy. So she would just stop and watch the opera for a while and just kind of look at me and just go, "Okay," and walk off.
Yeah, so we should tease that. That's coming up in a couple weeks. What was the name of the movie?
Repo!
Exclamation point. The opera.
The genetic opera.
Yeah, genetic opera. It's about it's a horror. It's a horror,
futuristic
horror musical.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a Stacey movie.
A chainsaw and starting it up now. There goes the blood. It's splashing everywhere. Where is the blood? It's splashing everywhere.
I'm all covered in blood. But not like this movie. This movie is covered in
slime,
Nazi paraphernalia,
and yes, Nazis and slime. This movie is Shockwave.
Yes,
Shockwave, plural, from 1977.
Mm-hmm.
I loved this movie. I know you didn't like it at all, but that's okay.
It had Peter Cushing in it, and I like Peter Cushing.
It had Peter Cushing. It had John Barrymore.
What was his last movies that he did?
Yeah, well, I think it was John Barrymore's last movie also, wasn't it?
And this one was one of the ones this is the one that I picked.
Yes, you picked it, and I loved it. And Stacey hated it.
I didn't hate it. It had potential.
This is one of those movies like Plan 9 from Outer Space. It's great actors at the very end of their career. Vincent Price.
Just having fun. Just doing whatever they want to do.
No, they're broke. These guys.
No, Peter Cushing was not broke at this time.
Peter Cushing was broke at this time. He did this movie for $25,000 and a plane ticket.
Oh, didn't have a lot of faith in Star Wars now, did he?
Star Wars hadn't come out yet, right?
Star Wars the first one came out in 77.
77, yeah. But it had not been released when this movie was. He did this movie before he did Star Wars.
He did, yeah, for sure.
And he was in a huge decline. John Carridine was paid. John Carridine, David Keith, Robert Carradine's father. What? Like trained
Carridine,
by Cecil B. DeMille, right? And he was paid $5,000 in 1977, which is not a lot of money in 1977.
No,
it would buy you a Pinto, and that's what he was paid for the starring role in this movie. But yeah, I mean, so many of those guys did not make a lot of money. They didn't make these $1 million paychecks like.
What's interesting is Shockwaves comes in on IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
Shockwave comes right after Star Wars: A New Hope. Like literally, he did
that's
four
the release
movies in '77.
Holy
that's crap! How broke
date.
are you?
It's that's based on the release date. But
Right.
the movie was filmed before Star Wars, and he was like in the doldrums. And
I'm just
give you
saying,
the
he
update,
did
and then we'll get into
four
the
movies
trivia.
in 1 year. That's fucking hardcore.
Oh yeah. Well, okay, four. If he did four $25,000 movies in 1 year, he was okay in 1977. But
Right.
he was rolling in it.
Well, and nobody knew how Star Wars was going to take off.
Oh, I think everybody thought it was going to be just awful,
or at least halfway decent.
maybe. Yeah. And then we stood in line. You probably don't remember. We stood in line, like wrapped around the theater twice to hope to get in, because this is before they did like advanced tickets, and
which is ironic because it's A New Hope.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then at least if you didn't get in, you were still, closer to the front of the line for when the next showing was.
I remember watching
bizarre.
Return of the Jedi in the theater.
You remember what's that?
Return of the Jedi.
Oh yeah.
Come on, little teddy bears. How does a little girl not remember little teddy bears on the big screen?
I don't remember little teddy bears. I thought that's when the Clampets got in their car, and Jethro and Ellie Mae and Jed went back to Tennessee. No, Return of the Jed. It wasn't Return of the Jed. All right.
Bubble and Crude.
I'm going to tell you about this movie now, and then we'll get into more about.
Give us the rundown, movie guru.
Yes, here we go. So you will know what we're talking about by the time I finish. Setting the stage.
I don't even know what
I'm making the roux, as Stacye would say, as Stacye did earlier when I got to listen to her cook. What was it? What kind of chowder?
It wasn't. Well, it was supposed to be broccoli, cheddar chowder. But I decided I didn't want a chowder. I wanted a soup, so I pureed the potatoes.
You ground the whole thing up. That way you can squirt it in your mouth with a turkey baster.
Well, you can't do that because the broccoli's still whole. It's still steamed broccoli.
There's where you made your mistake. You could have ground up the broccoli and just had it in an IV. Just stick it in your arm and let it pump in.
Stick it in your mouth, honey. You don't stick food into it. Okay, children, don't do that.
I don't know. My grandmother had this thing in her stomach, and then we just poured her food in it.
Can we just go to the movie now?
Yes, we will. All right. So these people are on this little boat. I don't know why. It's a tourist boat. There's two couples. And they're on a 3-hour cruise. The sky turned orange. A huge cargo ship appears, and the tiny ship was tall. The passengers. There's the skipper, the first mate, the millionaire, the millionaire's wife, the movie star, and the
movie star husband, and the cook.
No,
you had 3 crew.
There was
and 2 couples.
You're just stepping all over my joke. There was the skipper, the first mate, the millionaire and his wife, the movie star, and the rest, because that's first season. Okay.
I can't remember the last time I watched Gilligan's Island. I used to watch it as a kid, but I didn't get it.
Hey, there's Gilligan's Island and the Beverly Hillbillies in the first 5 minutes of this podcast. We'll be doing Petticoat Junction before we're done here. Okay, so it's called Shockwaves, and they tease that it's about zombie monsters. But it felt like the first 3 hours of 9 hours. I think it was probably about 30 minutes. There were no zombies. There were no Nazis. It was just people on this boat, and then the boat gets hit by this ship that turns out to be like a ghost ship. None of that matters. Sky turns orange. None of that matters. They end up on this island, and on this island, it's like an abandoned resort, which, by the way, was an actual abandoned resort that was scheduled.
At least in the movie from Creature from the Haunted Sea, they teased the monster within 20 minutes.
Yeah. No.
You didn't hear anything about the monster.
No, there was nothing about zombies. It was like 2 movies. Now these people get shipwrecked on this island, and finally we start seeing zombie monsters, or zombie Nazis. So the zombie monsters live in water, and like any kind of water, like a lake, a river, a lagoon, the ocean, a swimming pool, an abandoned swimming pool that was full of water had Nazi monsters in it. And they like zombie, they just kind of like zombie walk in Nazi formation. They kind of goose step out of the water and come up and attack very slowly. You could easily run from these Nazis.
And they drown you. That's all they do. They don't have guns. They don't have anything else.
No, they just grab you and take you under. And I'm wondering, do they make you a zombie then? But they didn't go.
No, because they don't have the injection stuff on them.
Remember
the guy with the glass bottom and he just like his body like.
Oh, that was
hilarious.
We'll get into that too when we get through the overview that's taking the 30-second overview that's taking me about 4 minutes. We get to meet the head Nazi then. That's Peter Cushing. If you don't know who Peter Cushing is, he's that guy from Star Wars with the great big head. He's got that head that looks like a light bulb, like an old
Grand Moff Tarkin. His character's name in Star Wars.
Right. Also his rap name, Grand Moff Tarkin. I think he released an album with Ice-T and under the name of Grand. Let's see. There's more tedious mayhem that happens. They try to escape. The Nazis always foil them. I guess because this was a cruise boat, they have a rowboat that was they have a couple of rowboats that were on the boat, and they're glass bottom boats. But they're not like the big Florida swamp cruise glass bottom boats. These are just like little tiny skiffs that happen to have a glass bottom. Made no sense to me. I've been to that, what is it? Merrimack Springs in Florida, where they have the mermaids that swim under the boats, and they're glass bottom boats, and you see everything. This was just like a little, maybe 2 foot by 18-inch long piece of glass in the bottom of a rowboat.
Yeah. It wasn't like,
they're rowing away. Stacye did not like their rowing expertise. Were you a Girl Scout?
That was terrible.
Were you a Girl Scout?
No, my mom made sure I wasn't a Girl Scout because she thought I would take over the troop. So I did. I'm not kidding. I asked her one year.
I'm not kidding either.
I seriously wanted to know because I was like, I could have been a good Girl Scout. Yes. She said, no.
They're peddling your cookies.
I did summer camp.
Okay. Well, their rowing technique was very improper, and Stacye had a good 5-minute rant on those. So yeah, okay. Now they're in a glass bottom boat trying to make their escape. So of course you see Nazis. That was like the big deal, which wasn't that big. Would I watch this again? Absolutely not. No. And would I recommend you watch it? Absolutely not. I loved it just because John Carridine with his career dying, and the big-headed guy from Star Wars, Peter Cushing, thank you. Peter Cushing with his big head and a Nazi uniform looks great. He makes a good Nazi. And I wanted to see those guys, and then to knowing that Peter Cushing goes on to, be a big guy, a big dude from Star Wars. That's about it, right? I mean, that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not something, if you're like at a cocktail party and somebody brings up movie trivia, don't use this one.
So the beginning of the movie is a man and his son are on a fishing boat or something, and they see a little dinghy, which is the glass bottom boat. Glass bottom boat, you make the rockin' sea go round. Anyway,
how did I get into that? It's been over a year.
So they find her, the one character, what's her bucket? Rose, I think. I think it was Rose. But anyway, they find her dehydrated on the dinghy. And then she goes back into the memory of what happened and when they came across the Phantom boat.
By the way, Rose was 18-year-old Brooke Adams.
Yes.
And she, what is she now? 70, she's still a babe. But she was pretty hot.
Girl's got it going on. So
the whole thing is her flashback while she's in the hospital. But I don't want to go into any more detail about the movie. Let's talk about other things.
Well, hold on. Let me finish. So,
as they learn about the overview of the movie now,
as they learn about the whole thing, and Peter,
you're starting at the beginning. Yeah,
please. I know you're trying to make me learn a lesson because this is what I do to you when you do that. I didn't find anything. I didn't find anything about the abandoned hotel thing that Peter Cushing is.
Uh-oh, froze up on me. All right, 39 minutes and 40
living in.
Seconds. Okay, pick it up wherever you were.
From wherever I think I was talking.
Wherever you think you were, just go back there. So she wakes up in the hospital. I thought the most
interesting part. She wakes up in a hospital.
Oh God! No,
after they take her to, I'm assuming. I want to know where the island scenes with the broken down hotel were filmed because.
Yeah, that's I don't remember. It's someplace in the Caribbean.
Right, so it has a swimming pool and it has these beautiful hallways.
Apparently, it's a really nice place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was very interesting. The staircases were gorgeous. I mean, the architecture itself was gorgeous.
No, it had been
the movie was questionable.
Grand hotel, but, quote another movie.
Yeah.
They paid $395 to rent that space for 6 weeks.
It's definitely a movie on a budget.
Yeah.
But there were moments where it was like almost like with the guy getting drowned, and you could see him like under the glass boat, and he kind of like rubs against. There were moments where they try to make it funny, at least to me. I found it highly amusing. Yeah, they tried to not make it so. They poked fun at the SS.
Yeah.
You know, making these zombie things, and the fact that they can't see daylight and all this other stuff. I loved that poke. And Peter Cushing playing Scar with and they made that Scar look good.
No, it was good.
Outside of that, I thought
I did a lot of research trying to figure out, and there's they don't credit this, but the underwater sequences were definitely Ivan Tor's stuff.
Oh,
they were exactly like
you said. Like Ivan Tor's like 2 seconds before I did.
Hunt, all those shows he did, and we know because Stacye hates him so much.
I don't hate him. He just has a thing that I'm not appreciate.
No, I agree with you. We started watching his career from like the early 50s.
And completely by accident.
No. Well, everything we do is by accident. But it turned out we learned that he ended up having this underwater film production company. It was a big deal. And it's still in business, and it's in Miami, and that's where they're experts at filming underwater stuff.
Yeah.
And it just felt like you were flipping to one of his early movies,
For sure.
Time that happened. But I was unable to track down whether they were actually the company that did the underwater sequences, because they don't credit, subcontracts that they hire.
Right. But, I thought one of the most interesting things and the plot, like they made that moment at the very, very end so like how would you tell the world that there are Nazi zombies and all this other stuff?
Swimming pool.
And she's writing in her journal, and it's complete gibberish. So everything that she's narrating in her mind is what happened, but she cannot explain it because she's in shock.
Yeah, no, she's had serious trauma.
And for 1977,
it may be that they just went on a 3-hour cruise. They were shipwrecked for a long time, and then finally they were rescued after 6 seasons. But the way she remembers it, maybe what she remembers was there were zombie Nazis and all that kind of stuff. And
if you have to wear a coconut bra you're going to have that issue.
It's going to itch. Wouldn't that itch? Wouldn't that be not just itch? Wouldn't that be very uncomfortable?
I would say itching. Scratch? In theory. I've never worn one, but I have worn a chainmail bra, and I'm going to tell you, it's not as comfortable.
It doesn't look comfortable. I wouldn't think it'd be comfortable at all. Next time I go bra shopping, I'll try to.
I think I might do, like, next time, if I'm ever going to wear a novelty bra, it's going to be
a novelty bra. What does your dad do for a living? Tommy, it's here. Bring your parents to school career day. Hi, I'm Tommy's dad, Bob. I make novelty bras.
Why not?
They got little propellers. They got all that stuff. I'm the king of novelty bras.
By the way, I have Tiara novelty bras.
How do you think Tommy gets to go to this expensive private school? It's all in it's the novelty bras money. Okay, so I'm sorry. I've never heard the term novelty bras, but that's really funny.
So the next movie we're going to do is called The Mutations.
Oh, boy. I kind of like
You picked this one.
It wasn't awful. It was in the same vein as Shockwaves, I thought.
I liked it because it's a Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster type-esque movie.
Yeah.
With a side of Doctor Who.
We got Tom Baker. I mean, he's completely disfigured and deformed, but he's wearing the doctor's frickin' hat and coat.
Yeah, you know it's him.
You know, and the first time his mouth opens, you go, "Oh, that's Tom Baker." Then I look up at the screen. Well, yeah, I guess it is. His face is all deformed, but
anyway, that's next
he
week's
movie. Playing
we
the same character as the Doctor with a prosthetic on it.
Yeah,
and it was great. It was great. And then I looked up this. We'll talk about it next week. But that particular sideshow, I've seen most of those people in real life at fairs and things.
Well, you grew up when it was just hitting that cusp of being appropriate.
It was the, I hate to even use the word, but it was the freak show.
Yep.
And there was the guy that could bug his eyes out. You know where I saw that guy that could bug his eyes out? At a Woolworth.
What's funny is I remember watching Guinness Book of World Records tried to do a TV show once. And a lady
my experience with the bug-eyed man at Woolworths. Instead, you're going back to some TV show.
What's Woolworth?
You don't even know. Woolworths it still exists, I think, in Australia. It was a 5 and 10 cent store. It was a dime store.
Maybe that's why I was like, okay.
You don't know dime stores. Woolworths, Kresge became Kmart. Small towns had these, they're kind of like dollar stores, but they were, you could get like everything there. You get toys, you could get fabric. It was like a tiny little Walmart before the giant big box store. And then we're in every town. And I'm in Woolworths.
One of those stores that you still have to like have someone help you, or could you actually shop for yourself?
No. You could shop for yourself, but they had a grill with little what do you call them? Bar stools at the grill. And my mother worked there in the early, so I could walk to Woolworths from grade school and get a grilled cheese sandwich that my mom made right there on the grill. It's good stuff. Anyway, one day I'm there, the circus is in town, or the carnival's in town, and all these people come in, and 80% of them were in this movie. The one I know for sure is the bug-eyed guy, because I actually talked to him. I was like 7 years old. And they were buying little cheap plastic toys, like, go to the back, get however many cases you have of this little thing for the midway, for like the prize. They say everybody gets a prize.
Right.
These were little like penny pieces, plastic cars and things like that cost like almost no money. And they were restocking their supply of the little crappy prizes that they gave away as
because they don't have the internet where you can just go and do bulk from China or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, I talked to the bug-eyed guy, and he popped his eyes out for me, And that freaked me out. I don't think I slept until maybe third grade. It was very creepy. And then there was the little guy who we've seen in other movies, right?
He was also in Star Trek.
Yeah, right.
The controversial Star Trek.
And the bearded woman.
We should finish this more of a story in the next episode. Okay,
yeah, for the next movie. I'll do some more research, but I want to know, did the timelines match up, but because as a small child, imagine being in the dollar store and having this cadre of performers from the circus come in. It was awesome. It was life-changing. So then I joined the circus. I ran away with the circus. Came back when I was 32, and that's my life story. Ran away with the circus with the bug-eyed man. The end.
You ready to go to bed?
No. I got a date tomorrow for lunch.
Yes, you should go to bed.
It's a lunch date. It's not like breakfast. But it's an hour away. I got to drive an hour.
Did you plug in your car?
Yes, my car is plugged in, topped off, ready to go. Yep.
That was one thing we learned while we were in Delaware.
Yeah. I was really careful about keeping my car charged up when Stacye and Steve were here. And then Stacye and I went out for one evening. What did we go for, a liquor store run or something?
Yeah.
And came back home. I forgot to plug the car in. And the next day we're going, unexpected. We went over all the way to Maryland and met Draga.
Yeah.
And then we got back. And then my car is completely flat. And the day after that, I got to drive them to Baltimore. So we spent time at 1:00 in the morning at a very slow car charging station.
And I started walking around, and Steve's like, someone's going to watch us. And then a security.
I thought you were going to get assaulted. It's a closed outlet mall. No lights anywhere. Completely dark.
Well, there were the parking lights were on, but all the sidewalk lights and everything's
closed. There were 4 chargers at this station. Only one of them worked. The last one that, of course, we tried.
Yeah.
The lights are blinking like from a horror movie.
There's a weird sound coming from a bush, and every time I try to figure out what the weird sound is, it stops. So I'm like, I want to know what kind of bug you are. There was
a frog or something nearby.
And I'm walking around, and Steve's freaking out like somebody's gonna stop you.
We both were. He came back, and I said, "Where is she?" He said, "I don't know. She's just walking." And I said, "Well,
I was just window shopping.
Gonna attack her." And he said, "I know. I can't get her to come back."
And I was just popping through, and I was just window shopping. And then an RV stopped half a block away in the parking lot. And then a security truck came by, and nothing fucking happened. No one gave a shit. Not one fuck.
I hate to be a real downer, but we all saw the news from Allen, Texas over the last couple of days. Them outlet malls aren't the same.
Yeah, but they were active. It was during the day. We were there at
No, you weren't going to get gunned down by somebody. You were going to get abducted. That's what was going to happen.
Maybe by an alien.
Well, you'd be.
They let me go in a heartbeat. Fuck this! No,
whoa! We're leaving this planet. Whoa, okay. Send her back. Engage the hyperdrive.
Retreat. This planet is protected. Okay, cringers.
Yeah.
Until the next time, don't be afraid of clicking on the algorithm movie, because you never know where it's going to take you. It may take you to a circus show. It may take you to an opera. Who knows? So don't hesitate on clicking on that movie and seeing where it takes you.
Maybe you should hesitate.
Not our cringers. That's what they give us. That's what we do.
I don't know. I don't think we're doing a service here. In fact, I think we're doing a disservice.
We're watching the movies so they don't have to.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's okay. I don't know. I'm not feeling good about our contribution to society.
Romania would have an argument.
Oh boy, Mania's. Yeah, that's our next one, isn't it?
Romania loves us.
Oh, Romania. I'm sorry, I thought you said mania, and I'm all into mania. No, Romania loves us. We have a new listener in Ireland.
Great.
Thank you. I was hoping you could share your Irish with our new listener. And find us out, find us on the web and on Facebook, sscringefest.com on the web.
I do not know how to translate that to Gaelic.
There's links there that will take you everywhere, and you can use Google Translate.
It's me, says Stacye.
In fact, if our Irish listener contacts us, what's our number? 401-400-2096.
2096.
2096. Leave us a text message. I will translate the entire CringeFest website into Gaelic or whatever that is.
Irish Gaelic.
I will publish a complete...
Well, we only have 18 letters to fuck with.
Right. A complete Irish version of the website. All you got to do is contact us and say, hi there, I'm Ian, John. What's a good Irish? Mike.
According to Duolingo, everything is Pole.
Okay.
Or Mary.
We've also got several listeners in Singapore now. Same deal goes for you. Call in, leave us a message. Tell us how in the world you found this thing, this atrocity.
And we're sorry.
And yes, accept our apologies. We've got a lot of new listeners in India, and of course all across Central Europe. Our map of the map of countries. This disturbs me, but then the map that our podcast aggregator publishes shows like when the country comes on. So first we get Germany. Okay, that's good. Then we get Poland. Then we get France. Then we're just marching across Central Europe, country by country, Italy.
Do we have to use the word march?
March. We are, just like in this last movie, we are goose-stepping across Central Europe.
Oh, I am so sorry. His choice of words are very poor today.
Proper context. Beats me.
We've got
users in Finland that come and go, which is also historically appropriate. Sometimes they listen to us. Sometimes they listen to the other side.
We should say goodnight.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Well, good night. Good night, Finland. Good night, Iceland. Good night, Australia. Of course, Canada. Good night, the United States.
Oh,
we have a lot of people there. What are the other countries? Oh, Brazil, Colombia.
God save the king.
The UK.
We've got UK.
We don't have anybody from Scotland. We need Scotland. We had New Zealand, but New Zealand's gone. I think Bernie got tired of us, which would have been kind of cool to have the entire Commonwealth. We could have the British
Scotland. Nope. Scotland wants
Ireland, Canada, Australia.
I don't want to get into the politics of Scotland right now.
Yeah. Okay. We got to do, Libya?
Do we have Egypt?
Morocco? Nobody in Egypt.
Oh, we need an Egyptian.
We do. But we do have Libya. We're close. We're zooming in on them. We got somebody
we have Greek?
From the Sudan. Greece? We don't have Greece. We've got...
we need some of the ancient cultures, people.
Zimbabwe. We've got a listener in Zimbabwe that pops up every week. So again, all you people, anybody, any listener, get in touch with us. Let us know where you are, what you're doing.
I really hope that people aren't trying to learn English from us. Because every now and then, one of the podcasts that I listen to goes, hey, we have a listener that uses us for English. And it's like, oh, God, please tell me no one.
But text us, email us, and we'll refer you to a better podcast for you to listen to.
Texas?
Yeah, you can text to that number for all.
Oh, text us. I thought you said Texas. And I'm like, I can piss off a Texan in two words.
We have a couple of listeners in Texas. And I think think that there's not a lot of biodiversity there. I think it's...
I'm just saying, I could piss off a Texan in 2 words.
What's that?
I can piss off a Texan in 2 words.
Alaska's bigger. Mine's bigger.
We're bigger.
Yeah.
We'll cut ourselves in half and make you the 3rd largest state.
Yeah, okay. All right, dear. You think we should go? Let's go. And this is the part of the podcast where Stacye completely loses her shit. Hi there, Stacye. Tell me what's so funny.
They tune in.
They tune in for you. Okay, there will be a slight delay while Stacye giggles. Well, don't cover your mouth. Let it out. It's an audio podcast.
Turning red.
You got the vapors now? What are you going to do with the vapors thing? Like, oh dear, I got the vapors.
Except the vapors are farts, but you know.
You need a handkerchief. You need to wave a hanky.
Yeah. No, here.
Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Okay,
with the bear in my
herself.
face.
I'm going to do the play-by-play now. She's fanning herself with her Cracker Barrel bear.
His name is Herschel.
I still can't believe you went to Cracker Barrel and you bought a bear. He's got a little Cracker Barrel apron on. He looks. If he was a little less hairy, he'd look like that 90-year-old woman that served us breakfast at Cracker Barrel the other.
She was so sweet.
She was. I felt bad for her carrying those trays of gravy and biscuits and crap out with that walker. That was hard.
Afterwards, she just sat in one of those rocking chairs in the front.
Yeah, right. She was out rocking on the porch with Steve and I while Stacye shopped.
I was left unattended.
Yeah, not a good.
I'm in danger. Good night, Cringers.
Good night, dear. Well, let's do this again. What do you say?
Yep, next week.
All right, we'll do that. All right.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Peace.
Stacye and Steve's Cringe Fest is a production of Howard's Day Old Clams. Like, share, and review us on your favorite podcast service. Our music was composed by Tony Longworth. Email us at sscringefest@gmail.com. Text us or leave us voicemail at 401-400-2096. I'm Hal, your announcer, wishing you peace and love.